So, we need to talk about Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR. I think I might have gotten the middle name wrong, but I always hear different ways of how to say it, so we'll just go with FDR for now. So, there's no doubt that he played a huge role in a significant part of American history. A lot of people on the left and Democrats will say he was one of the greatest presidents ever, and even people on the right and conservatives who disagree with him on stuff will say he was important and he did a lot of good. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, we've got to address the elephant in the room, no pun intended. So one of the things that I do see from the left, and I'm not trying to make a political video, but you're talking about a politician and it can't help but get political, is I see this inconsistency from the left and from Democrats. Now, I have observed people from my generation who are willing to address this, but largely I don't see the matter being talked about. So, a lot is made. To really drive the point home, I've got to bring up Trump. So, a lot has been made about Trump and him being called xenophobic and racist. All you have to do is bring up him calling COVID-19 the Kung flu or China virus. And, that's not cool. But what is equally uncool is putting away so many American citizens into camps simply because they look like members of an enemy nation that America is engaged in a war with. And we wouldn't think to do that now, but that's exactly what FDR did back in World War II. He took Japanese American citizens and he put them in concentration camps. Now, and it's a thing, it's like, Trump is made to, I've got my issues with Trump, but I see this incongruity. People say, why is Trump bad? Because he's xenophobic and he's racist. And people say, FDR was so great, but he did things that are comparable to the things that Trump is accused of, and this doesn't get acknowledged. I mean, people will talk about the order and the internment of Japanese Americans, but they do not tie it to FDR in the same way that Trump is tied to the wall, and it really doesn't make any sense. I feel like if there are calls for Republicans to deal with Trump and his rhetoric and what he stands for, then, and also, throw another Republican into the mix, Ronald Reagan. There's a claim made that he took the war on drugs and used it against, black people. If Republicans are going to be held to task for the legacy of these leaders, then if we're going to be even, then we have to address, hey, FDR put Japanese Americans in concentration camps or internment camps, but yeah, why not? I mean, why isn't this more of an issue with the left and Democrats? I mean, he's a hero of theirs and even a hero of Republicans to a certain degree. And it's just, why is this never addressed? What is the significant factor in this not staining his legacy? I'm not saying you have to love and bow to Trump or Ronald Reagan, but it's just like, we got to have some consistency here. I'm just wondering, okay, what's the significant factor for why isn't he held more to it? I mean, I would love to hear a response.